Hello everyone. So this is just a quick little recap of the stomach and small intestine. So over here we have all the names of the B vitamins. So B1 is thiamine, thiamine. B2 is riboflavin. B3 is niacin. B5 is pantothenic acid. B6 is pyridoxine. B7 is biotin. B9 is folic acid or folate. And B12 is cobalamin, however you say it. So that's our B vitamins here. And we'll go through the absorption later, but they're all absorbed in the small intestine. So the route from the mouth to the ileum, so it starts in the mouth, and then we have the parotid and salivary glands. Then it goes down here, past the upper esophageal sphincter, through the esophagus, then down through the lower esophageal sphincter into the stomach, and then obviously I didn't draw this very well, but we have the fundus at the top, which is sort of like that little gap at the top of the stomach. Then we go through the corpus, which is the main body of the stomach, past the glands in the corpus, and then we end up in the pylorus, which once again hasn't been drawn very well by me, but it's just sort of like, just goes like that. And then as we go through the pylorus, we go through the pylorus sphincter. Here is when we have some secretions added by accessory organs. So we have bile from the gallbladder and also some pancreatic juices, and this bile from the gallbladder comes from the liver. And then we end up in the duodenum, which is the small intestine. And then if we go down here, the duodenum absorbs metal ions such as magnesium and calcium, sulfates and chloride, but it does not absorb sodium or potassium, and because those are absorbed in the colon. So down here. Alright, so we go through the duodenum, and then we end up in the jejunum. And the jejunum absorbs slightly bigger molecules. So we have monosaccharides such as glucose and galactose, and then vitamin C, and then pretty much most of the B ones except for B12 cobalamin, because that's just a lot bigger. So the duodenum absorbs pretty much like single ions, because it doesn't absorb that much stuff. Like the duodenum absorbs the smallest molecules possible, and the jejunum absorbs like sort of medium sizes like monosaccharides and water-soluble vitamins. And then we end up in the ileum, which is the end of the small intestine, and then we absorb proteins, fat-soluble vitamins, lipids itself, cholesterol, bile salts, and cobalamin, which is vitamin B12. Then, so I haven't got this drawn on, but we have the colon going around here, and then so at the point where the ileum joins the colon, that is called the ileocecal sphincter. Now that we've already gone through what the ileum absorbs, and then we end up in the colon. So the colon absorbs sodium and potassium, water, and bacterial vitamin K, and that's just stuff that's been synthesised by bacteria during their metabolism. And there we go, that is the whole of the small intestine and the stomach.